Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. In this video, we're going to be looking at AC 2.1 from the 5003 Professional Behaviours and Valuing People unit. This is a scenario-based unit, so we're going to go straight into the scenario, which is you have taken up a new position as a HR and L&D advisor at Nexabyte. It's a rapidly growing software company. Nexabyte was established 2 years ago by Kit and only had one director until Aisha recently joined as a new business partner. The organization has grown quickly and organically and currently consists of 23 software engineers in 3 teams. 3 team managers, 2 administration staff, and 2 directors. Since joining Nexabyte, the second director, Aisha, has become concerned about the way things are being run and has brought you in to help make improvements. Aisha's main concerns are the lack of standard procedures and the lack of management capabilities. None of the 3 team leaders had management training or experience prior to being informally allocated in their roles by Kit. With Kit fully occupied with marketing and promoting the business, the team managers have been free to recruit and manage their teams as they choose, calling on administration staff for support when needed. Consequently, the teams have been managed quite differently to inconsistent practice, e.g. different working arrangements, different access to paid L&D. Several of employees have complained about the loss and some valuable staff have gone. Accidental managers, they're called. People who get managerial positions and have never experienced them before. Not part of the question, just wanted to throw it in there. Anyway, let's go on to the question. You're pleased on how your presentation at the managers meeting, see question 1, where you had to write what you were going to do as a presentation about what people professionals do, was well received. However, one manager has since commented in the managers chat, we don't really need to change anything. The company's doing well financially. And anyway, people work much harder when they're not protected by a lot of feel-good policies and procedures. You want to respond to this comment in a professional and informative way to help to change these views. This is not an uncommon view. As you've probably come across within your career already, if you're working in HR, people think, oh, well, HR are just fun police. They're just here to make things do. People don't want people to. They're just here to make people's life worse. And it's not an uncommon view because people want power. People want the power to be able to make the decisions. But unfortunately, the law dictates a lot of these decisions. And, sometimes you need to tell people why, just because you've not been set on fire right now doesn't mean that the organization couldn't be in future. And it's not your company. If it's your company and you want to set fire to it, absolutely. So, with reference to research or theory, argue the human and business benefits of making people feel included, valued, and fairly treated. So, people work harder when they're not protected by a lot of feel-good policies and procedures. Well, is that right? Is that just an assumption? Does he have any evidence to back that up? And guarantee you this is that I think, not an evidence shows. So let's find out some research. Let's find some theories. Let's show the human and business benefits of making people feel like they're part of the organization. Where we listen, where there's two-way communication, where people feel like they can raise grievances and issues and things like that. Remember, because I read the scenario, you've had complaints. You've had people reference that things are unfair. So how are we going to go about this? Now you have 400 words to answer this particular question. You lay out like this, AC 2.1, and then you write your words. How are we going to break this question down? Well, to help you with this, we've created an answer plan, or study plan. So this is question 1.4. The verb is argue, I think. So you're arguing for, the human and business benefits. Now, remember, this is the human and business benefits. So I will break this down into 2 action points. Firstly, the human benefits, and then next, the business benefits. What is the human benefits of making people feel included, valued, and fairly treated at work? My action point 2 would be, what are the business benefits of making people feel? Because you have to answer all elements of the question to be able to pass this particular unit. So that's how I would break it down. 200 words per each, which isn't a lot when you're arguing multiple reasons for something and multiple reasons for something else. Because you're arguing, it's not just, I think it's this, and evidence says this is this, and this. I would tend to give 2 or 3 examples within this particular situation, because I'm arguing for it. And it's not I think versus what you think, it's what you think versus what evidence is, because you have to research a theory and argue the human business. It wants it in a professional way to change these views. And you don't change these views by going, you think this, I think this, and you think this, I think this, you think this. Well, actually, all the research points to this, and this is what this says. These are the human benefits, these are the business benefits. So again, I would find evidence, I would find stats, I would find data, I would find information for my point, for what I'm trying to argue for, and I would include that within my response. And that's a reference, that's a citation, multiple per AC, builds out your answer particularly well. Now, so here's just an example of a study plan filled in. By all means, pause the video, copy this down, write it yourself, follow it. Don't mind, it's giving you a structure to work towards, just so that you've got a plan, because it's really easy to just get sucked into a question and just start writing. But are you answering all the elements of the question? This makes sure you're answering the verb. So if you don't answer the verb, you don't pass it. Making sure that you know what your word count is, making sure you know what your action points are, and you're putting in your references as you go. It's about structuring your response and structuring your answers so that you're not having to go back through and re-edit everything and re-edit everything and re-edit everything. By commenting on the scenario, like, right, well, I've got to remember I'm working for Nexabyte here. I work for Nexabyte here. This is about them and what we need to do for them. All this is designed to help you get through. Now, as always, some recommended reading: Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, Equity Theory, John Stacey Adams, Hertzberg Two-Factor Theory, Social Identity Theory, which is Henry Tafgel and John Turner. So again, with reference to research or theory, these are some of the theories that I particularly like. I always think the reason I'm pointing towards theories over research in this particular instance is I think theories tend to come implicitly with research. If Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs when you start to read that and the benefits of it and stuff like that, there will be loads of research backing up why it's essential. Equity theory, there'll be loads of research backing up why it's essential. And that kind of, if you go for the theory first, there will be evidence showing you why this theory works, because for these theories to be able to be ingrained within regular day-to-day business culture, there has to be copious case studies backing these theories up. So that's why I'm pointing you more towards theories at this particular moment than research, because research could be on anything. But you might have something clear in your brain. And if you can apply a theory to it, then you're more likely to find something to back up what you're thinking from a theory perspective. And that's what's really important. Okay. Let's move on to story time. And this time you're a game show host with your HR badge, because every video's had a HR badge at this moment in time. So if we think, number one, Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs is a motivational theory in psychology comprising of a 5-tier model of human needs, often depicted as a pyramid. Psychological needs, basic requirements, e.g. survival, food, water, warmth, safety needs, security and safety. So start to think about that against the organization, security and safety. Why do we want to remove it? Love and belongingness needs, relationships, friendships, and a feeling of belonging. Esteem needs, feeling accomplished and recognized. Self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative avenues. Application, when employees feel included and valued, belonging and esteem, they're more likely to achieve self-actualization, leading to higher engagement and productivity. So does Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs match the requirement to answer that question? Maybe. This is a game show. You tell me. Equity theory. So we've got John Stacey Adams. Equity theory focuses on a fair distribution of resources within interpersonal relationships. Employees compare their job inputs, e.g. effort and experience and outcomes, to salary and recognition with those of others. Perceived inequalities can lead to dissatisfaction and demotivation. Fair treatment ensures balance, leading to job satisfaction and higher motivation. I think about the NHS, there's pay bands, there's pay transparency, everybody knows what everyone's bands are. Fair treatment can, you've got application, which is ensuring employees feel fairly treated and promotes a sense of justice and equality, reducing turnover and increasing loyalty. Maybe that one helps you answer the question. No? Well, let's go to number 3, social identity theory. which is Henry Chappell and John Turner. Social identity in theory explores how individuals derive their identity from groups they belong to. Positive social, that made no sense. Positive social identity is achieved through group membership. Being included in a group enhances self-esteem and commitment. Is that group the organization? Organizations that promote inclusion help employees identify positively with their workplace. Application promoting an inclusive culture ensures that employees identify with the organization, enhancing their sense of belonging and loyalty. Is that the theory to help you answer this question? Or maybe it's Hertzberg's two-factor theory, which Hertzberg's theory identifies motivators and hygiene factors that impact job satisfaction and productivity. Hygiene factors like salary, company policies, working conditions, relationships with colleagues. Motivators like recognition, responsibility, personal growth, and achievements. Application ensuring fair treatment addresses hygiene factors while recognizing and valuing employees' contributions, addressing motivators leading to enhanced job satisfaction and productivity. In this particular HR game show, which theory are you going to use as your evidence base to build your case around? I would argue you could argue a case for any of those, and you may want to use any of those as your foundation to build the human and business benefits to answer this particular question. Absolutely best of luck with this unit. I'm sure you'll do absolutely great. Just remember, this is about demonstrating why it's important to treat people as an organization and not just on a manager's whim. We've all experienced, and we probably all experienced it. If you haven't, but if you have, you can know how that can disconnect you from an organization. So how do we argue the benefits? How do we argue what we're doing? That's what this will do. Let's use a theory, and then let's use that evidence of people applying this theory to win our argument. Best of luck with this unit. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.